Hi, welcome to the Health and Happiness Show. As many of you know, I am Janet Hawkins, a doctor of naturopath, and I am here. I came in with the April showers, and we're doing the recording for May. So here we are, May flowers, and I hope everyone is enjoying the daffodils, the lilacs are starting to come out. The leaves are coming, but the buds aren't quite there yet. The azalea bush is starting to bloom. So I hope that we're all taking time to being grateful for the spring time and take time to enjoy the moments of spring, seeing God's work here, providing us. Just being like the daffodil. They're looking up at the sky for the sun. And so hopefully you can do the same by looking up for the strength to give you to move forward each day and to be positive as well. So being a doctor naturopath, what we try to do is get to the root cause of your problem today. And as many of you know, I have been taught that our disease today is coming from standard American diet and toxins. And how do I come up with that conclusion is probably what you are wondering. Well, I was very blessed back in the 90s. I went to school with Dr. Jensen. Dr. Jensen is a doctor of naturopath, and also he was a chiropractor. And so I went up to Canada and I took a class with him on iridology because I was just starting out in the business back in the late 90s, and I was very impressed with the iridology because I myself had gone for it and to a lady in Minerva, and she put me on a program and I felt better in 2 days. And I said, I want to learn more about this. So anyway, what I was taught, we always look in the left eye first. The left eye is where the heart is at 3 o'clock. So it's like a clock going all the way around. And so we look in the eyes first to see what's going on. So that was very intrigued. So that's how I started out. And like I said, I felt so much better within like 2 days. And I sent my massage therapist friend to the same lady. And she came back to me and said, Janet, why aren't you doing this as a business? You told me more and more and more than the other lady did. And I said, well, it's okay. I appreciate that. And being a teacher, I feel as though that's why I have the ability to go in and try to break it down and share to you what is going on. So when in my business, what I do is we do the iridology. Now, I do have a little pamphlet here, which I give to my clients as well. And this provides the information on what services I offer. So the first one, of course, is the BTA report. And this is where we go in and do the saliva and urine testing for individuals. And this is going to go in and tell you exactly what is going on. It is going to tell you if you're drinking enough water. It's telling you if you are very toxic. It's going to tell you how your mitochondria is working. The mitochondria is the heart of your energy. That is where your energy, your powerhouse. So this is the report you get, and it's approximately about 10 to 15 pages is what it amounts to. And good, he brought up the report. Thank you. And so we can see green is normal, yellow is subnormal, orange is moderate, and red needs attention. What I'm seeing today is a lot of heavy metals, and I'm seeing a lot of viruses as well. And as you can see in the right-hand corner, we see the mitochondria. Like I said, that is your powerhouse. Now, anybody over the age of 50, I feel as though needs to consider taking COQ10. COQ10 is, after the age of 50, it seems to go downward. So I feel as though that can go in and help the mitochondria and bring up your energy as well. And especially if you are on a statin drug like Lipitor, things of that sort, that depletes the COQ10, so it's more important to take that as well. But you have to remember, do not take your supplements with your medication together. Always 1 hour apart, always. So say if you're on medication for your thyroid, you normally would take that in the morning when you get up. and then you would wait an hour, and then you can take your vitamin D, maybe your vitamin C, whatever that you are taking for the day. But so that is what we're talking about with the BTA, Biological Terrain Assessment. And then we usually have you come in and we do the assessment and then have you come back in 6 to 8 weeks as long as you followed the program. Do not waste your time or your money if you've not followed the program. I prefer to put you on no more than 6 supplements if at all possible. And of course, we have to incorporate 5 things. One is nutrition. That is vital today, because when you come in, I have a folder for you, and it's going to have a list of the Dirty Dozen, and it's going to have information on getting America healthy as well, to give you a guideline on improving your nutrition as well. So nutrition is number 1. And number 2 is exercise. And I'm going to incorporate this today because I really follow Dr. Brownstein, and I brought in his newsletter, and this newsletter for the last month was on exercise, and I found it very interesting. Being a medical doctor in Michigan, he is holistic, and this is what his thoughts are. Exercise outperforms drugs. It has been known to lower the risk for mental decline. So if we tend to have any depression, meaning any dementia, things of that sort, it also can improve longevity. And it helps people who suffer with insomnia. If you're having difficulty sleeping, exercise can help that as well. It also helps diabetic patients control their blood sugar as well. The bottom line, there isn't a single medical therapy that can benefit you more than a daily routine of exercise. So you're saying, okay, what's this lady talking about? Okay, there are different forms of exercise that you can consider. And so we can take maybe lifting some weights, using a home trampoline are also effective as well. Or maybe taking some exercise classes, maybe some Tai-Go, maybe some yoga, things of that sort. Because the slow, steady movement can help nearly all conditions as well. So you have to remember there are many different ways to get your body moving. Our body wasn't designed to sit for hours. So you just have to remember that it's not a cure-all, but it can benefit nearly all of our conditions today, but should be used as part of our holistic treatment that includes, like I said, eating a good diet. Try to stay away from the boxed foods, the dead foods, and then here it is. This is May. I planted my lettuce. Don't laugh, I planted it on Easter Sunday, the traditional Easter Sunday, the end of March. And I planted it on Easter Sunday because it was a beautiful day. So I'll have him bring up a picture of my lettuce. I said 2 weeks progress is where we're at now, and it's just starting to come through. So now with the rain and with the sun, it's just going to bloom, bloom, bloom. So next month I will have a picture to show you as well. So all you have to do, and there's my chives as well, they love the springtime. So Mother's Day is around the corner. If you don't have chives, it comes up every year on its own. It's easy to plant, and all you do is put them in the ground. I even have them coming up between a couple of my cement bricks out in the patio as well. And then I have them in the pots. So it's just nice to plant some chives because they're up every year, and you can cut them up and put them in dip, or you can also pick it usually I have it till November because it likes the cold weather, and you can put that in a little Ziploc bag and you can freeze that as well. So I'm just giving you some ideas. So it's not too late now. I mean, I remember growing up, my mother would always tell me, you need to plant your peas and your lettuce by St. Patty's Day. Well, I was running a little late this year, but we got the lettuce in. So make sure it has plenty of sunlight, and with the rain, it's keeping the moisture very good as well. And there's nothing nicer than having a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, say your Dave's bread, of course, which is organic and non-GMO, and then your bacon, maybe turkey bacon or bacon without nitrates, of course, and then your fresh tomato, and then go out and pick your fresh lettuce. Nothing is nicer than that, to know what you are eating and you're being the CEO of your nutrition. So again, nutrition is the number one, and we'll talk about that more in depth as well if we have time. And number two is exercise. We've got to move or you're going to lose. Just remember, because whenever I see clients, a lot of times I will see that their lymphatic is very congested. That's your lymph system when we have lymph nodes throughout our body. And the one I always relate to with the customers is the one under your arm. And many times whenever it's very congested, it'll get a little tender and painful. Well, that's your lymph system talking to you. So what you can do is you can stand at the sink and maybe do an up and down movement with your heels, or maybe I prefer to do a jump rope. I know it's kind of tiring, but that will help. I mean, even a trampoline, because I have a mini trampoline, and I will go out and I will jump up and down. You have to remember the lymph system does not have a pump like your heart does. So you have to move or it's going to get all congested. So that's why, and even if you're walking, you move your arms really, really fast like this, and not just down. Just move them fast. That will help as well. But I prefer the jump rope or the rebounder, because that's really, really aggressive. Because I've always told myself, having a major from Kent State in gerontology, if I were 30 years younger, I would really consider having a holistic nursing home. I really feel as though they need a rebounder there, because they're all sitting, they're not moving, and that would be so helpful as well, as long as they were stable enough to do it. But there is a stabilizer bar with the rebounder as well. So exercise is just so important, and it doesn't have to be painful, it just has to be done. You have to move or you're going to lose. And then the number three thing to keep our body in balance is stress. And I always do the iridology on my clients, and I think that's what I'll do next month. I'll bring a couple pictures along so I can show you what I'm seeing whenever I talk about this. Whenever I see the stress lines, there are stress lines, like a little pencil mark all the way around the colored part of your iris, and it's telling me how stressed you are. So if we have 3, 4, or 5 stress rings, I know we have a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. And, because usually I ask the client, how stressful are we? And they will explain to me that they are. And so we got to get that stress under control, because whenever we're so stressful, what that does is produces acid environment internally in our body. So when our pH is too acidic, that is when disease begins. That's why it's so important to drink Kangen water with a balance of my pH is 9.5 is what I serve my clients whenever they come in for an appointment. And then I add some chlorophyll to it as well, which we're going to talk about that in a short bit. So I think it's so important to try to keep that stress under control. And that's where exercise helps with that as well. A lot of times when you go walk, it's very calming just to be in nature, to maybe see a rabbit or a squirrel or the birds, or listen to the wind. And look up to God and talk to Him and ask Him for the strength to get you through the day. So this can help you so much with stress. Plus you're getting the exercise by walking out there as well. And the number 4 is sleep. Sleep is so, so important today. And I'm seeing a lot of clients that are having difficulty sleeping as well. Now we have to remember 60 to 80% of the population is very, very deficient in magnesium. And I like magnesium complex. It's the one that I normally use. And of course I muscle test my clients for it. And 90% of them need the magnesium. I personally take at least 350 milligrams per night before I go to bed. I'm a type A personality where I tend to think things too much, and that's just the way life is, and it helps me relax and calms me as well. So also there is a magnesium complex spray, which you can apply that to your legs if you're tending to have some muscle cramps as well. But if you're having muscle cramps in your legs, I would have your electrolytes checked, or maybe increase your salt intake as well. And usually many times that can help with the leg cramps. But a quick fix is the magnesium spray. Just to spray it on, rub it on your legs, and it'll be gone in like 2 or 3 minutes, and it works very, very nicely. All right, so we've talked about that. So, and then number 5 is our attitude. You have to have that positive attitude. You can't lay in bed and say, oh, I just don't feel like getting up and moving. You got to get up. It's a new day. It's a new page for your chapter in your book. So it's up to you to continue on your journey. God has a purpose. So listen to what your body is telling you to do. So that's where we're at for right now. So let's move on. So we talked about the BTA, and that includes, all the 5 things we talked about, changing your diet, and we'll just take one little change at a time. As far as exercise, maybe with the weather, spring weather now, just maybe go for a walk if you want. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to go to the Y. You don't have to make it an expensive thing. Maybe you have some of the exercise equipment in your home that you can use. Personally, I prefer to get out in nature, especially spring, summer, and fall. And yes, my little miniature Dachshund, she loves to go for a walk. As soon as I say, let's go, she starts squeaking, she's ready to go. She loves it as well. So also then I do mini consultations where I do the iridology, where I look in the iris, and then I muscle test you, and that is either a half an hour session or an hour as well. And then anytime you come in for the saliva and urine testing, the BTA, I always include a beamer session. The beamer is a chair that you sit in, and it increases your blood flow by 30%. And then I have a pamphlet that I give you, explains the benefit of that as well. Because I was explained to that, was actually introduced to that back probably 2 to 3 years ago. No, probably longer than that, probably 4 years ago, whenever I took my first class for my doctor of naturopath. And I kind of put it on the back burner. And then one thing led to another, and now I have the beamer as well. And I feel, though, that that is very, very, very part of keeping our body in balance as well. And then, of course, we have the grounding sessions as well. That's where I put the little pads on your feet or your hands. If it's above the waist where we're having problems, we put it on the palm of your hands. Or if it's below the waist, we put it on your feet as well. I've had one client, schizophrenic, a lot of mental issues, and we did the grounding session one time, and she felt amazing afterwards. So grounding is where we go, get our body back into balance with the earth. And what is happening with a lot of our electronics today, we just lose contact with the vibrations from the earth today. So it's getting our body back into balance as well. Okay, so here we are in May. It's springtime. The trees are starting to come out, so you know what that means? Yes, so now we're having the seasonal allergy time. So I like the ALJ is what it used to be, but they now call it seasonal allergies. And it is fantastic. The nice thing about it is you only take it when you need it. So you can, like, I had to take 4, I believe it was yesterday. Yeah, I took 4 last night because my nose kept running and I had a little dry cough and a little sniffles, and I took 4 of those, cleared it right up. Usually within 20 minutes, if you're having difficulty breathing through your nose or your eyes are kind of like watering, it'll control that within 20 minutes for me. Of course, everybody is different. It may take 10 minutes. It may take a half an hour. You just have to listen to your body and it'll tell you. Now, what is in this? This has bone set in it, and this goes in and helps with the mucus and all of that, and that comes a lot of from the air that you're breathing as well. And then it has fennel in it, which goes in and reduces the inflammation. And also it helps with a lot of mucus that you are expelling as well. And then it has fenugreek, and that'll go in and help loosen the mucus. And it's going to go in and help you helps you with the cough and the fever and any respiratory problems as well. And then also there's horseradish in it. You know what that means? It means you're going to open up the nasal area and you're going to be able to breathe very quickly. Like I said, 20 minutes for me. And then it has mullein in it. Mullein is a plant that is for your lungs. So that's going to work on the respiratory system with all kinds of problems. May it go in and help you cool it. Maybe it go in and just strengthen the lung areas if you have a weakness there as well. So I always have one of these open. You can have it, you may have some allergies in your home, but usually outside, I'm very sensitive in the springtime. I know before I used to take like 4 and I was good for a week. Now with the aging process, I just take it when I need it, and that's what you need to do. Just keep it open, and there's no side effects. These are all plant-based God's medicine. These are plants, and it's a combination that's put together. And I prefer nature sunshine because I'm very particular on the products that I carry. The quality control is outstanding. So they check for any heavy metals, any bacteria, any mold, and they reject a lot of plants and herbs every day. And that goes back to the company that does not pass their requirements. It's goodbye. And I've been to the plant like 3 or 4 times, and it's excellent. So the Histoblock, okay, there's another one that you might want to take with it, and I always have this open just in case I need it. So let's go back here. Okay, so we have the seasonal allergies, so write that down in your notes. That is for any allergies that you're having now, and no side effects. You're not going to be drowsy. You're going to be as alert as you can be, and it'll be fine. And you only take it when you need it, and that's 4. And then if you have to, if you find that the 4 isn't sufficient enough, what you can do is you can add Histoblock with it. And this supports the body's respiratory system as well. And, it can be brought on again by the environmental toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis. And it's a powerful combination. It has bromelain in it, and it also has quiancin, and that's going to go in and support the seasonal difficulties. So I always have that on hand in case I need to add that with it, and that'll go in and work with that as well. So the seasonal allergies, we have something to take care of that, and basically it's the seasonal allergies you take as needed. So we'll put that back here. Okay. All right, so now that we've had our 1 healthy minute, we know how to take care of our allergies. We know we need to exercise. From Dr. Brownstein's newsletter, exercise is so, so important today. And here we are, springtime. Okay, it might be raining, so you don't go on a rainy day, but you can go maybe morning or evening after it quits raining. So it's up to you. You're the CEO. So now we're going to talk about, okay, what does our disease today, what I have been taught, comes from standard American diet and toxins. So you know what we're going to talk about today. It is that time where we need to go in and we need to do a cleanup. So it's a time for refresh and renew. So it's time to go in and clean internally. So before we go in and talk about the different choices that we have, I would like to give you some information on what is going on. It's very critical to understand that this body of ours doesn't develop an illness overnight. Something happens that cripples the body's natural ability to defeat this illness. Sometimes it's a combination of maybe some nutritional deficiencies and toxic overload. In my opinion, I feel as though we are overwhelmed with toxins today. It is not only our food, it's the air we're breathing and the water. We're constantly bombarded with that. So it's your body is just overwhelmed, and what we have to do is there are different things in our body that can help clean us up, and that is the liver, the skin, the kidneys, the blood, and your lymphatic system. That's why it's so important for you to get out there and walk or move that movement for that lymph system. It's your garbage disposal of your body. If you don't move, it's going to get stagnant, and you're going to be lethargic, and you're just not going to feel good. So when it comes too much for your body to eliminate, it begins to accumulate and stores this. And so whenever that happens, that's when disease begins. So what we have to understand, there are different things that we can use. And the most important thing is we have to understand where does these toxins come from? Okay, the first one I want to talk about is the diet. I think that is so important. And that's why I always give my clients a paper on the Dirty Dozen list. And do you know what's at the top of that? The Dirty Dozen means all of these have to be organic because they use so many chemicals and pesticides on these foods. So actually we need to rewrite that. It's a Dirty 13 because they have added the potatoes to this as well. They are GMOs. Majority of potatoes are GMOs, genetically modified. So just remember, that's the first rule of thumb. If you're going to do any soy products, make sure it's non-GMO and it's organic. Same way with your corn. Those are and your cotton and your sugar beets. Those four are the primary ones on GMOs. So, you know, you've got to become a label reader, and that's why we need to have your Yucca app. And the Yucca app is an app that Y-U-K-A that you can get on your phone, and you can zap the barcode and it's going to tell you excellent, poor, good, or bad. And I know when I first got it, I was, you know, I couldn't believe it. You might be at the health food store and it's still not good for you. So you've got to become a label reader. So like I said, make sure there's no soy. If it says non-GMO, you're fine, and organic if there's soy in it, okay? And then also your corn is always GMOs. And the same way with your cotton as well, and your sugar beets. I feel as though the granulated sugar that you are getting from the store are sugar beets, which is GMO. That's why if I am going to use sugar, I go to Aldi's and I get the non-GMO sugar and organic cane sugar. Then I feel as though I'm safe to use it. I know you can always use alternate of like some maybe honey for your baking. I haven't researched that and spent the time to you know, figure out how much honey do you use to equal 1 cup of sugar, and that is going to take some time. But in the meantime, this is what I use. This is sugar from Aldi's. It says non-GMO and 100% organic cane sugar. And it's not white. Of course, it's whenever it's white, it's been bleached, chlorinated. So it is a brown color. And so I recommend that one for your sugar if you're going to use it. Now back to the Dirty Dozen list. We have number 1 are the strawberries. They use a lot of chemicals on the strawberries today. And that's important too, because now you can plant your strawberries as well. I know I've planted those as well. And you can go out and pick your own strawberries. Like in June is usually the prime time to pick them as well. And then the next on the list is spinach, of course, and then we have kale. And you can get the spinach and kale like at Aldi's at Mark's 100% organic as well. And then we have apples and grapes as well. They use a lot of chemical sprays. Cherries, of course, peaches, pears, and then our celery and tomatoes as well. So these are the ones that all have to be organic. So hopefully you've written that down. And then it doesn't matter, the clean are usually cabbage, broccoli, things of that sort, cauliflower. But this is why it's important for you to have your own garden. Now, I know my husband was always the gardener, and of course I was the person that picked the produce. So the fact that I've lost him, but he's with me in spirit, I will do some raised beds this year with my tomatoes, and of course my lettuce and some green beans. So I'm cutting back, but I will still have the raised beds. And like I will also have on my deck the round pots with the lettuce in it as well, and my parsley, and then I'll have my little bite-sized tomatoes as well. So there, even though if you're in an apartment, you can put the little pots outside, or you can go dig an area. You don't have to have a big garden. but there are different little ways that you can do that. And maybe just start out small with your lettuce and your tomatoes, maybe some parsley, put your chives in. So that's just some suggestions on where you need to start. And then also, whenever clients come in, I give you the paper on Getting America Healthy Today. And then we talk about, like, say, for example, your lettuce. It should be fresh, loose leaf lettuce, not the head lettuce. There's no nutritional value in that as well. So, you know, whenever you come in for consultation, we try to give you suggestions and do little simple changes. So like one step at a time, and then you decide where you go from there. Okay, so what we do too is, we usually muscle test you. So let's go on here and do a few more things. Okay. So like we said, we talked about, we have our food, we have our water, the air we breathe, and also I have an air purifier in my home, and I like the air purifier. And the nice thing is, the one that I have, it goes in and kills the virus as well. And I have it running all the time in my office, so whenever clients come in, and it's very, very fresh. And the thing that was so interesting is I would always have my diffuser going in the same room. Well, guess what? I couldn't smell any of my essential oils. It was because the air purifier was taking the smell away. So that's why it's important to have an air purifier, I feel, in your home as well. So a lot of times, whenever we have a lot of toxins in our body, it can lead to maybe some weight gain. It can go in and help with autoimmune conditions, fertility issues, neurological issues as well. And that's why it's so important to have good water and good quality food so we don't lead into these kind of conditions. So let's start out, where do we go? Okay, first of all, let me ask you this. Here's a lot of common symptoms of toxicity. And one is we have a lot of muscle aches and pains, and maybe some sinus congestion, and maybe you have some bloating and gas as well, maybe some constipation or diarrhea. These are some of the symptoms, the common symptoms of chronic being toxic. So I'm just giving you some ideas. In my opinion, we all need to do a cleanse at least 4 times a year. And this is why I am suggesting it now and discussing it with you tonight, is because here it is, a season change. This is a reminder to say, hey, it's in charge of me to go in and clean up my body. It's springtime. It's time to go in and clean. We were hibernating during the winter time, so we need to go in and clean up our body. Every season change. I always tell my clients, because as many of you know, I have seen you at the Holistic Psychic Fairs, which I'm doing one next Sunday, April 14th. And then I'll be in Warren on May 5th. And then I will be at the Hartfield Flea Market on the Saturday and Monday of Memorial Day. The Monday of Memorial Day and the Saturday before, I will be there. And I do free iridology as well, and muscle test you on what you need. So it's just telling you I'm there if you're not able to make an appointment, and there's no cost whenever I do this as well. Health is wealth, and I want you to have quality of health as we are aging. And I love working with the youth, the foundation, like I had just a 34-year-old and a 24-year-old within the last month. And I love this because they're going to bounce back very quickly, and we're setting the foundation. And this is fantastic to, you know, present the foundation on what we need to do to keep our body as clean as we can, because we're exposed to toxins morning, noon, and night. So we've got to be your CEO. So we went through some of the symptoms, and you might have, like I said, trouble losing weight, maybe some skin problems, maybe some rashes, and maybe some dark circles under the eye. That's usually toxicity, and water retention, and food cravings, sleep problems, heartburn, all kinds of things. And a lot of times whenever you have a bowel movement, it might smell very bad, and that's a sign of toxicity as well. So we talked about that. So what do we do here? Now, so get your paper and pencil out. So here are some different choices, but This doesn't mean you should take chlorophyll, doesn't mean you should take the Clean Start, it doesn't mean you should take the Tahi Cleanse. What we do is I muscle test you. Everything has an energy rate, and we're all different. Maybe you work, say, like in a dry cleaning store, because I had a lady come in many years ago, and she worked in a dry cleaning store. And there was a lot of chemicals there, and she was having a lot of headaches. Well, that was the symptom of she was having a reaction to the toxins. And another person came in, and they worked in a car repair shop where there was a lot of, fumes from the cars. Same thing. So, I suggested they get an air purifier in the office, and then we do a cleanse and clean you up as well. So one of the first things that I always offer is the liquid chlorophyll. So whenever clients come in for the consultation, what we do is we always provide a container of chlorophyll water. And what is this chlorophyll? What is this going to do? It's a very minty taste, because I always have samples of that as well. And it is a pigment that gives plants their color. And it is the foundation of life. It's going to go in and clean up your blood. It's going to help heal your wounds. It's going to help with skin care. And it's going to help with weight loss. It's going to help with any body odors. If you tend to sweat a lot and smell, it's going to help with that as well. And then it's going to go in and help with constipation and gas, all right? And it's going to bring your energy up. Because I know I go to Ladies Super Fitness Center, and I took one of these in for the ladies to sample and put it in their water. Well, guess what? A couple of the ladies have tried it, and they loved it, and they're back on it again and call and say, Janet, I need another bottle. So it's a simple fix that you can add it to your water and drink it throughout the day. And what is so cool is after I've done a show, if I come home and I have some of this left, I will put it on my hibiscus plant. You know what? It'll bloom in 2 or 3 days. So what does that tell you? And I always put it on my plants, but the hibiscus plant loves it the best because it's always blooming for me after that. Maybe wintertime, spring, summer, fall. Now, I'm going to be taking it outside. Probably have it out there in the next 2 or 3 weeks because it loves the the warmer weather and the sunshine and the moisture. So, and I bring it in the wintertime as well. So I'm just saying, and what's the shelf life of this? It's 2 years. So, and then how much do you use? You use like a teaspoon. I just kind of eyeball it and pour it in my water. Very, very, very minty, okay? And it's very refreshing. And then also, it helps if you are anemic. So if you are too acidic, and we've talked about the acidic condition, so whenever we're too acidic, this is when disease begins. So this chlorophyll water is going to go in and help balance your pH so you're not so acidic. Remember, we get that from stress. So we can take maybe some Stress J, which has some chamomile and passion flower in it. It's an herbal combination for stress. Or maybe some valerian root, maybe some Nutricalm, which has a lot of bees in it, and a little bit of passion flower and valerian root in that as well. But we, again, muscle test you to see what you need. And as you can see, the sickness is right over here, and that comes from acidic foods like coffee, soda pop, of course, and stress. Those are the ones that produce the acid environment. So that's why you're getting so many benefits from this, and it's not that pricey. It's, it's 16 ounces, and it's going to last you probably, I would say, at least 6 to 8 weeks. And you just pour it in your water, and off you go. I know when I worked at the post office, and I was a full-time carrier, we had a bottle of this in the refrigerator. And many times we would go put it in our water container, and off we would go delivering mail. So I'm just saying you could also keep it in your office for other people to use as well. But health is wealth, and this is your choice, and it's something simple. You add it to your water, and off you go. So that is also, I always give you a printout on this as well, and when I'm doing shows, I always share the printout as well. So it is an antioxidant, so it's going to go in and neutralize the free radicals and limit the oxidative damage as well. It acts as an anti-cancer agent. And it also protects against toxins, so it's going to go in and clean you as well. Balanced pH, going to clean you and help you if you tend to be anemic. So It goes in and supports the blood cells, and it also can increase the oxygen. So if your hemoglobin tends to be a little weak, which means you're anemic, it's going to go in and help increase the oxygen and help with that anemic condition as well. And it's going to increase your energy as well, and it's going to enhance your immune system. So also it's going to go in and help with the bad cholesterol, the LDLs. It can go in and help with that as well. And also I know a couple of clients that have been on chemotherapy, and they have taken the chlorophyll as well, and it goes in and helps with the effects of the side effect of the chemo. And also it can also go in and eliminate the possibility of kidney stones. Of course, that would make sense because you're way out of whack whenever you have kidney stones. And so what we need to do is balance your pH again. So it's going to go in and do all of those things by adding that to your water. So that's always the number one. It's simple and quick. But again, I muscle test you. And as we know, when we muscle test, we hold it up to our chest. And I have you hold your arm out. If the arm stays up, you need it. If it goes down, don't need it. Everything has energy. Maybe food, and this is God medicine. So it's telling us what you need. So my first choice that I always go to is the Tahi Cleanse. Now, why do I like the Tahi Cleanse? I like this one personally for me. It's more systemic. And the nice thing is that there is one that's all packaged up for you. And you take it and you will get results in 10 to 12 hours. What do you mean by results? What I mean is you're going to have a bowel movement in 10 to 12 hours. So I normally take it like maybe at 9 o'clock at night or 8:30, and then I will have results like in the morning when I get up or in the early morning. And on the box it says to take a pack morning and night. I prefer just to take one pack because, say, if you work for UPS or if you're a school teacher or if you are office manager and you don't have time to run to the bathroom, it's better to take one pack and get that elimination over. So just remember, results in 10 to 12 hours. What does this have in this? So this is what I like. It has a liver combination. So this is going to go in, and this is going to go in. The liver's right here on the right side under the rib cage, and it's going to go in and clean that liver because it's been exposed to so many toxins. The air we breathe, like we said, the food, the water. And it has also Detox, which is going to go in and help with internal inflammation, clean at the cellular level. This is what's in this packet of this that you're taking. And there are 6 capsules in here. And then it has LBS2, which is long, brown, and smooth. I see clients that don't have a bowel movement, but maybe every 3-4 days. Can't do that. We're getting auto intoxication, so we have to go in and clean up that. See, first of all, I always ask them, how much water are we drinking? Remember, you take your weight, say you weigh 200 pounds, you take half of that, and that's how much you're supposed to drink, 100 ounces of water a day. And many times people aren't drinking enough water. We need that for the lubrication. We need good quality water. I have the Kangen water machine, so when clients come, I serve you 9.5 water. I can have one client can only deal with 8, otherwise it's too strong for her. So I'm just saying we need to add the chlorophyll to your regular water, but don't drink the water out of your tap. That's a chemical cocktail, in my opinion. So, I realize it's not good to get the spring water in a plastic container, but it's certainly better than the chemical cocktail coming out of the faucet. You have to understand that water is going into the toilet and it's going back to the plant and they're putting chemicals in it and you're drinking it. So, and that reminds me, okay, I think it's very important that you also get a filter for your shower. I send my clients over to Hartfield Hardware in Hartfield, and here's the one. Mine is the shower filter, and it's got a little round thing, a little cartilage in there. And I change mine about every probably 6 months because I have well water, and I don't trust industry around me as well. And so I know I always get one of these for my grandson who lives in Cleveland, a little brace. And and he loves it because I got him one for Christmas, and he said, oh, I needed that, and I knew he would. So it's just a nice, with Mother's Day being around the corner and Father's Day, maybe you can get them a filter, and it's under $100 to get the whole setup. And you can put it on the filter that you have. You just unscrew it and put this in. Okay, so I'm just giving you some ideas on that as well. So in the Thai heat cleanse, we were cleaning the liver. We're cleaning all cell detox with cleaning the cellular level. And we're adding LBS2 to open up the colon. And just the one capsule isn't going to give you diarrhea, so don't panic. And then it has some fiber in it, which is psyllium hulls. And it has burdock. Burdock's going to go in and clean your blood, okay? And it has black walnut in case we have any parasites. So you can't beat this one. This is my favorite, but then again, we muscle test to see what is best for you. So that's a number one choice is the chlorophyll, to add it to your water. And then we have the Thai heat cleanse. And then we're going to go to the cellular detox as well. The cellular detox, I find sometimes that works very well for people as well. Again, we'll muscle test. This has got a lot of things in it. It's got a little bit of cascara. Cascara is a bitter herb, and I don't use it alone. I refuse to, because it's going to give you muscle cramps, and you're going to say that herb lady's crazy, and that's why I won't use it straight. In a combination, it is fine. It's much more calmer. And this has a little bit of slippery elm in it as well, which I love slippery elm. If you're telling me you're having irritable bowel, I like this in a capsule form. The slippery elm is going to go in and help you with constipation or diarrhea. And you've heard me talk before about my little Minnie. Sometimes she'll go visit my daughter, and whenever I'm away or at a weekend thing, and she might come home with diarrhea because, you know, I'm sorry, Minnie's a little spoiled. She eats organic food. She goes to Dr. Fisher, my organic vet, and so she's pretty used to a clean diet, and she doesn't drink the water out of the tap as well. And so I can pull that capsule apart and sprinkle some of that slippery elm on her food at night. Slippery elm will take care of any diarrhea that she gets by eating something strange. She has a very sensitive digestive system, which many miniature Dachshunds do as well. So that's what we use for her as well. So I like this one. So again, we muscle test, and then it also has some black walnut in it. Also, it has some olive leaf in it too, which I thought was very, very interesting. So it's a great combination. It has some yellow dock in it, and it has some milk thistle in it, which is going to clean your liver as well, red clover, so, and a little bit of ginger, and of course some marshmallow as well. So that's going to help with any internal inflammation. So this is the one I usually go to if we're having a lot of internal inflammation. But I can see that by looking in the eyes, but again, I'm not going to say you take this. We're going to muscle test you again. Arm stays up, you need it. It goes down, you don't. So it helps us fine tune that as well. So that was the cellular detox, another choice as well. I'm just giving you different choices. And then we have the environmental detox. Environmental detox too, I'm finding that very interesting. Again, this one has a little bit of burdock in it, which is going to clean your blood. It has some cascara as well, has some dandelion, which is going to work on your liver, has some echinacea, which is going to help your white blood cells, has some fenugreek in it as well. And the nice thing is, I like to give you a printout on what you're taking and why, so you understand. And this one also has a little bit of milk thistle in it as well, and it has some pepsin in it, which is a digestive enzyme. Red clover going to clean up your blood, and some yellow dock as well. And also it has some fenugreek in it. And so how many do you take? It says take 1 3 times a day. But to make it easier, if it's easier for you, you can take 2 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So that is another choice as well. And back to the cellular one, that one is 2 3 times a day. And I usually say take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. We try to keep it simple as we can. And then we have another one here. And this one is the Clean Start. Okay, the Clean Start. Okay, so this one's a little different. This one is a clean start, and it's not my favorite, but for some people it works very well. You have like the packets in here, and you mix this with some water, and you have to drink it very quickly because what is in the ingredients is some fiber, and it comes in different flavors. It comes either berry or the cinnamon. It has a little bit of stevia in it, and it has some bentonite and some aloe and some chlorophyll in the dry packets as well. And what you do is you have to put it in water and drink it. Shake it up very quickly and drink it. You have to drink it immediately because it has fiber in it. And that's going to gel like applesauce, and you're not going to like it. It's going to be thick and yucky. So that's, you've got to drink it down very quickly. So that's what I'm saying. And then it has little packets which you follow it as well. And within the packets, here's what we have. In the packets, we have the environmental detox is in it, and we have some bentonite and the aloe and all of that. And then with the packets, each packet contains the environmental detox and some LBS too. So that's what's in the packets that come with it as well. And you take the packets after you've used the drink. So in the drink, you have the potassium, you have psyllium hulls, and let's see, what else do we have? We have a little bit of bentonite and the aloe. The bentonite's very drying. So this is more cleaning up the colon, is the way I look at it. Where the Thai heat cleanse is more systemic. It's more towards the body as well. So that's a clean start. And again, we would muscle test you to see if we need that. And then, of course, we can't forget our little fellas here, the parasite cleanse. So the nice thing is in the Thai heat cleanse, we got the parasites in there. So we have the black walnut in there. And in the, we have the artemisia, which I can do that straight. The artemisia has cloves in it, and it has garlic, and it has ginger, mugwort, and olive leaf, and a little bit of spearmint as well. And then it also has some turmeric in it and some wormwood. I kind of refer to this as the ivermectin in an herbal form. So this is, the wormwood is actually another name for ivermectin as well. And how many of these do we take a day? Okay, so if we need this one, you would take 2 capsules with a meal 3 times daily for 10 days, then discontinue for 5 days, and then repeat this cycle. And the reason we're doing that is because a lot of times we have babies when we have parasites. And where do we get parasites? We can get it from our food. You can get it from traveling over in foreign countries, things of that sort. You can get it from your animals as well. So, this is why I like the Thai heat cleanse, because it's easy. It's cleaning systemically, and still it's covering you. But then again, we muscle test to see if that's the one you need. Now, we also have the parasite box itself. And this one has herbal pumpkin in it, black walnut, and artemisia, and pawpaw as well. So that one is a little more in-depth. And you have the packets in here. And what you do is you take 1 packet with breakfast daily for 10 days, and then you discontinue, and then you go back again in 10 days, okay? So that's what we always try to do. So, we kind of go to the root cause of what is causing the problems. Many times, people have fibromyalgia, things of that sort, and we're not getting to the root cause. So what we have to understand, I've given you choices on what we can use. And another thing that's so important, and I wanted to share that with you, is we have it's not only the foods and cleaning internally, we need to go in and reduce our radiation and reduction totally. And this is what I have, and I was introduced to this at the my conference that I go to every August. And on the back of my phone, I put this on. This goes on the back of your phone, and it stays on there for 3 years, and it'll protect you against the radiation. So you can put it on your cell phones, on your tablet, on your computer, so all of this. So it's excellent, covering all angles. We're looking inside internally tonight, but all of us have our cell phones, and we're addicted to our cell phone. It's always right attached to our hip. So I'm telling you, and these are reasonable. They're like $35, just giving you an idea, and they're good for 3 years. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. And just remember, We talked about the Dirty Dozen list, and also wanted to share with you, please, laundry detergents are very toxic. They're very petroleum based, so I prefer to go to the health food store, and this is the one I get. And no fabric softeners. We use the little balls, and you can add some essential oils to that as well, and put those in the dryer. I keep mine in there for like probably 2 or 3 years, and then I replace them. And then I know our goat lady friend, Kathy, she makes those as well. So we'll have her back probably in November as well to go over her products that she makes. So hopefully this is giving you some inspiration to be responsible for your health. And health is wealth, and it's springtime. We need to refresh and renew. So God bless, enjoy the nice weather, and appreciate and be grateful for what God has given us. Be blessed. Thank you.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.